Zion Williamson is the most overrated player in the entire NBA, and it's time to see him for who he really is on an NBA floor. He's 5 years into his NBA career, and yet is still judged solely based off potential. Zion was touted as the next LeBron James when he was drafted out of Duke, as he was super explosive and had a crazy highlight reel going all the way back to high school. However, there were injury issues with Zion going back to Duke, and those issues have persisted throughout his NBA career. He's 5 years into his career and has missed more games than he has played, having only played in 184 out of a possible 410 games going back to his rookie year in 2019. And even at Duke, he missed time after having knee and ankle issues. Even though he had his most healthy year this past season, he still got hurt in the play-in game against the Lakers and had his worst statistical season of his career, averaging under 23 points a game on by far the worst shooting of his career as well. Zion never adjusted his game for the NBA, and that's because throughout high school and even college at Duke, he was always the strongest player and most explosive player on the floor. But in the NBA, he's an undersized forward who is surrounded by players who are up to almost a foot taller than him. And there's much more athleticism in the NBA. And he's still a freak athlete, obviously, but injuries have obviously caught up to him the past couple of seasons, and he's looked just a step slower and a bit less explosive throughout the past 2 seasons. He also didn't develop a three-point shot and shoots the three at a very subpar level, and his mid-range game isn't elite as well. And while he can hit the mid-range, it isn't a strong point in his game, and in the NBA at this point in time, you need to be able to hit a mid-range and hit the three ball, especially if you're going to be a 6'6" forward. If he's going to survive in the NBA and be the player that people expect him to be, he has to be able to hit shots, and it'll actually help his inside game, because if he is really allowed to shoot the ball at a high level, he will be able to pump fake and drive and get inside and create more havoc at the rim. But people don't respect his three-point shot or his mid-range enough to even really contest, and they're able to hang back in the paint and focus solely on stopping him at the rim, which has led to him having the lowest field goal percentage of his entire career this past season. And as a 6'6" forward that has injury problems, he needs to be able to hit threes at a rate that will give him a counter to simply driving and finishing at the rim. He's become the second and sometimes even third best scorer on his own team after Brandon Ingram and sometimes CJ McCollum. He went from being one of the most highly touted prospects in NBA history to being a guy that is a fringe all-star at best, and at worst, he's a player that is the second best option on his own team. Also, when I'm saying all of this, I don't mean to come across as a hater, because going back to his Duke days, I have always enjoyed watching Zion Williamson play basketball. He is one of the most fun players to watch, and his high school mixtape is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. He is still a good, solid player in the NBA, but there's still a lot of analysts and NBA fans alike that rate him as a top-tier NBA player and say that, oh, when he's healthy, he's top 10. When he's healthy, he's top 8. But at a certain point throughout his career, he has to stay healthy, because the best ability is availability. And if he can't stay healthy, then he won't be able to ever lead his team to a championship. And this past season, he was looking really good in the play-in game, and people were thinking, oh, could this be the team that makes a deep run throughout the playoffs if he actually gets hot? But then he goes down with yet another injury after having his most healthy season, and the Pelicans went out in the first round, and we didn't hear from him until recently throughout the entire offseason. But let me know where you rank Zion in the comment section below. God bless you all, and have an amazing day.